What are some of those challenges or opportunities that you saw?
One of the challenges was food security. There was little food in the community.
The fact that the community faces a long period of drought.
There was also a shortage of land.
So for you may think not going to school is a problem, but they may not look at it as such.
They have a bigger problem that is beyond that.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of those food security initiatives, agriculture that you work with rural women?
They wanted to learn something new. We got 1 acre from one of the community members, rented us 1 acre. They ventured into watermelon growing, tomatoes and green pepper.
And so how is CorpsAfrica uniquely placed to support rural women, especially in the areas of agriculture and food security?
The safe space that CorpsAfrica volunteers create for people that they do interact with.
Welcome to Conversations with CorpsAfrica Volunteers. My name is Sylvia Nalovega. CorpsAfrica works with young people. These young people are recruited, trained, and are sent out into local communities to work with locals to develop different initiatives that address their local challenges. Today with me, I have a set of young people that have gone through our program in CorpsAfrica, and today we are talking about the rural women. What is it about the rural women? We all know that in Uganda and world and Africa especially, rural women contribute greatly to agriculture. And we are all aware that agriculture is the backbone of our economy. Today we want to highlight some of the initiatives that the CorpsAfrica volunteers have conducted to support rural women, especially in agriculture. I have with me today the person on my left. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me, Sylvia. I'm happy to be here and tell my story. My name is Nalukwago Kizameri, and I was serving as a volunteer months back with CorpsAfrica in Bulele Village, Buyikwe District, Uganda.
Nice. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you so much.
Yes, over to you.
Thank you so much for having me today, Sylvia. This is Chibuka Brian, a former CorpsAfrica volunteer, both in Uganda and in Malawi.
Welcome again, and welcome back from Malawi. When did you come back?
I came back, it's over a month now.
It's the International Day of the Rural Women, and we are celebrating the contribution of rural women to agriculture, to food security, to nutrition, to livelihoods. And as CorpsAfrica volunteers, you have done a lot of initiatives that you're going to share with us among rural women in agriculture. So I'll start with you, Mary. Please share with us your story, share with us your experience. We want to know, what have you done? How have you supported the women? How have you empowered them? Yeah.
Wow. Rural women. Interesting topic. The fact about, I would say, let me speak about my community of service, is that actually women are the most populated, it's the biggest population in the area. Next, I think what follows are the youth. I would say they would have been the youth, but because they migrate and go look for jobs elsewhere, we end up having more women in the community. You'll have widows, you'll have grandmothers, you'll have married women, and so and the youth, the girls. So you have rural women with the bigger portion of the population.
Interesting.
So when you're working in the community, you'll end up working mostly with the women.
Okay.
Because they are the people you will find at home. They are the people who will give you time. Men will give you time, but not as women. And because they have that touch, that feel of the nature of love and wanting to provide in their family, they will end up working with you. So I worked with women, and in my community, in my group, mostly 90% of the group members were women. It's not easy to build a relationship with community members, people you've not been with.
Yes, tell us about that.
It's not easy.
Like I said, CorpsAfrica recruits young leaders and are trained and are set out in communities where they have never been. where they've never
Definitely.
been, and they have to create relationships with their community members and work with them to catalyze different local solutions. So tell us your experience about that, and how did you find the rural women?
Well, it's not easy, like I said, to foster relationships and collaboration with people you've not been with. But kudos to Call Africa for bringing up approaches that train us on how you can interact with people and bring harmony and love, attract people to you, and then they actually receive you with open arms. They have a system where we have to go and integrate in the community. You have days where you'll just go and attend functions in the community, attend funerals, be part and part of the community. Forget about your degree, forget about how you've come from town, and be like them. So be empathetic, be in their shoes. You'll attend their functions, go serve food with them, listen to them, and open conversations with them. It will bring you closer to them. Visit them one on one in their households. You will play with their children. When you play with someone's children, it builds trust.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow, that's nice. So tell us, how have you worked with rural women, especially? Mary, you talked about how many they are in Buyukwe, and maybe Brian will also share with us both his experiences in Uganda and Malawi. Yeah, share with us in terms of agriculture. What have you done? What are some of those challenges or opportunities that you saw?
I would say I used the approach called the human-centered design that puts community members at the center of their development. And under this, I looked at the Innovators Campus. That is actually an approach that is used in Call Africa. You'll have to use it. When you use it, you'll be ensured of sustainable development in the community. So whatever activities we did with my community members, we ensured we followed the Innovators Campus, where we had the people in the center. Who is involved? We look at, now in this area, we'll look at women, but don't forget about other people who are not going to be impacted by these activities, who are impacted negatively, positively, and all that. So you look at leaders, you look at their husbands, their children, and the neighbors, and maybe the potential partners you will work with to help you build these initiatives. So I ensured that these women, I have them in my pocket.
That, as the common saying is.
Mama, you're my mama, grandmother. And it was not fake, it was real, because they received me with open arms. Once you build that trust, nice. You're working with them, you're visiting them, you're holding hands, and you're listening to them without judgment. You're forgetting everything, because when you get there at first, they look at you as you are an angel or you're a god, because
you've come from outside.
Oh my God,
the young
want to
person.
give you the best. She deserves the best of the homes, the best of foods. Wow. But when you deny yourself that and become part of them, they receive you. So from there, we go to observing what is actually happening in the community. You look through, because you get shocked when you get down there in the communities. You've come from town, you've been seeing life differently. And then when you get to the community, and you're like, oh, so people actually have children not going to school. There is no education here. There is insecurity here. So you see so many problems. But you don't forget that you don't interpret those problems as their sole problems. From your perspective, you wait for them to tell you the problems they feel that are most pressing.
So for them. You may think not going to school is a problem, but they may not look at it as such.
They have a bigger problem that is beyond that. So that is, you observe, but then do not judge, do not interpret by yourself. Leave your opinions to yourself, and then wait for them to feed you what they think. So from there, then you'll go to what matters most to them. That is what I said here, that you observed, you've seen a lot of problems. There is theft, there is the discrimination of women, battering of women, and all sorts of problems that are happening. But is among those ones, what matters most to them? What are they pointing out? So they come up and then they will tell you what matters them.
So you have those community meetings, conversations where
Yes. You can start even on one-on-one, just getting hints and ideas before you even go to meetings. Then later you will call in meetings, and then you give every person time to tell you what their opinion is. You have to have you have to have inclusion and equality in this, because everyone is part and parcel of the community, whether they are lame, whether they are old, whether they are young. So as long as you've called for the meeting of women, they have a voice. You give them an opportunity to what? To speak out their mind. So you'll have empathy, be in their shoes, understand the way they understand. Look at the point in the way they
From
are looking
their
at it. Yeah, from
perspective.
their point of view, their perspective. And it will help you understand them better and work with them on something they actually believe you solve
their challenge,
is their
yes.
challenge, not what you think. Don't make your way. No.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can
Then
hear you.
you-
And
then-
it can be like a trap, like, guys, I've seen you eat poorly. We need food.
You need
yeah?
food. The problem is food. But for them, their problem is different, maybe.
Yes.
So you give them that chance. Then you ideate. They come up with ideas on possible solutions to the problems they are facing. They might have different, because in CorpsAfrica, we don't focus on we have a main project, yes, but we don't focus on just one project. You'll do different initiatives by the time you leave the community, as we did. I believe, Chibuka, you did a lot. I've seen.
He's going to share with us some of those things.
Everyone's actually did a lot. So all of those activities we did, once you follow that procedure, it's sustainable, because they will tell you ideas of what their problem is and ideas on the solutions they have.
So they look at their challenge and then they propose the solutions and they lead them themselves, not the outsider.
Yes.
But your role as a volunteer is you go and collect them
And
catalyze and push,
Then you facilitate
and
that
facilitate
process.
the process. But you don't put your opinion there.
Sure.
Okay, interesting. So Mary has taken
Don't
us through the
influence them.
process. Yes. So yes,
There's actually the last one where you have to experiment this.
yes, please.
Once
do
they have
that.
given you these ideas, as a community, you have to use different processes,
Okay.
and then vet out the best
Okay,
solution.
tell us about those processes of vetting.
I'll say that the problem we are having now is, for example, is lack of education in the community, and would say, what are some of the solutions? They would come up with different solutions, and then we would say, but which one is more sustainable? The challenge we're having, for example, I would look at the challenge that they were having at that point. One of the challenges was food security. There was little food in the community. There was also a shortage of land.
Okay.
Because if in Buyikwe, there is the population is huge. Different people are coming from islands, from, there is I'm forgetting the island there. And they're actually coming in to settle in the nearest places.
On the land,
So the land is small, and the people who have the money, the people who have been there forever, those indigenous people are the ones that are having the huge chunks of what?
Which are not being used.
of land. And there are few.
Okay.
There are few people. So the land is not being used, but the people who are settled there are many, and they have only a land for their housing and maybe a playground and a small one to put there, a few like banana plantations. So they will tell you, we are having food insecurity. We don't have food. We don't have land to grow on these foods on. What can we do to survive? Because also we don't have the money to buy.
Aha. Brian, you're going to take it from there. What are some of those things? Yeah, because I know some of our communities, the challenges are more or less the same. So what are some of those food security initiatives, agriculture, that you work with rural women to implement?
Thank you. Actually, to start from there, that's where it's so important to understand the community dynamics. Because I've listened to Mary, and she's saying among the factors that were causing food insecurity in her community was the fact that people had limited space and some others. Yeah. But then you might in my community here in the Antonde, as well, it was an issue, but the most pressing issue was the fact that the community faces a long period of drought. Yeah, it's a cattle corridor, and so
yes, yeah.
rains are few. So with that factor, they couldn't afford having very big chunks of land throughout where they can have food and some other grocery maybe to use in their homes. So what I did as a volunteer, through the discussions we had, they were like, yes, one of the pressing need we have is we don't have enough food for our families. And you know, just as you said in the introduction, women are the backbone of agriculture.
Yeah.
But not only agriculture, as well, these are the center for families.
Absolutely.
When that happened, we went into discussions, and then we realized, because here we are focusing on assets that are within the community, I couldn't
Yes.
afford maybe buying grocery that is enough or food that is enough to supply them. So we discussed, and they agreed
Tell us
that
about those assets in the community.
assets, we have so many assets in the community, but we categorize them into 5 major groups. We have what we call the human.
Okay.
I, the person, I have the head, I have the heart, I have the
I'm
hands.
an asset.
Yes.
Yes.
So anything that relates to development begins with me. If I cannot understand that this is a problem, then I cannot do anything about it.
Yes.
And if I can do anything about it, but I do not have the passion, still it won't be sustainable.
I hear
So
you.
I become the asset number 1. Then we also look at the social asset, because I alone, no man is an island. We have that saying. So I can't do everything alone. So, but if I have Mary, if I have you around, you can give me the support to overcome any issue that I'm facing. Then we have the physical. These are structures we have, like roads, schools, water sources, among others. All those can be assets to our community. Another asset is the institutions themselves. We have institutions like maybe the local government, people being community, but when they do not know how best can they approach such institutions, or maybe other NGOs partnering with their government, the local government, to ensure that they have support.
Yes, so you've talked about assets, human, social, physical, institutions, and
We have economic.
economic.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
The economic, here we look at how best, which assets do we have that we can sell to get what we do not have.
Okay.
For example, if I'm a farmer, what do I grow? How often do I supply this? And how often can I earn from it? So that becomes an
Your
economic
asset, your
asset.
economic asset.
Yes.
So, Mary, and of course, Brian, you come in here. How did you use, what are some of these assets in the committee? He has given us the categories, but can you just make it easier for us to want to understand what assets did you tap into in the community, especially when you are working with women, when it
Yes.
comes to agriculture? Just give us examples.
Yes.
And how did you come to that?
For me, in my community, I would look at the human assets. I had my community members already there, available, ready to jump in and start, because they are the ones they're facing the problem. So they are looking for the solution. So I'm tapping on those to do the labor, to do the mobilization of resources, find solutions in the first place. Then I also had land. It is in scarce, but it's in scarcity, but it's also there.
Tell us about
There is
that.
land.
Yes. How did you get that land?
Then,
Yes.
because we had a few landowners there, we had to devise
in the
means,
groups, okay.
not in the groups themselves, because it's only one person that rented us land from within the groups, but the other one was outside the group.
Okay.
Some rich person there, doing nothing with their land, but it was a tug of war. So, but we had to find a way of how these women can access land they're not selling. These people are not selling, and these women are not having money to buy as well. Also, in case they were selling, so the only option there they suggested was we can rent this land, use it for a
Yes.
specific period of time, pay out money, and get some get
And
our
then
produce
sell off, yes.
and then again rent in case it's available. If it's not, go to another person.
Okay.
So it was the only solution right there. So that is how we obtained land. We got 1 acre from one of the community members, rented us 1 acre at 250,000 per season. A season is 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Yes, so we rented it for 2 years.
Wow.
Then we also rented another 2 acres from a gentleman that was able to rent it to us at the same amount for another 2 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So what did the community members grow?
Pardon. Oh, the community members. Oh, they, interestingly, yes, however much as food insecurity, they wanted so much to venture into something that is more commercial.
Okay.
They wanted to learn something new, venture into something that can provide money as well, because they had, amidst food insecurity, they had also other challenges. They had to take children to school.
Absolutely.
They have to take care of their health. They ventured into watermelon growing, tomatoes, and green pepper.
Well,
We
and
had
you are not an agriculturalist, but you are able to catalyze an agricultural project.
Yes.
That's amazing.
You outsource such assets. Those are the assets we are having agriculturalists at the district, within the community, outside the
For free?
community. No, yes, some
Wow.
are willing to actually help with information. Yes, with information. At this stage you do this. At this stage you do this. And then we would make sure we are doing everything at the right time.
That's amazing. Yes,
Actually,
Brian.
before we wrap up on that, do you realize, Sylvia, how interconnected these assets are? Because herself, she was an asset
She's an
that went
asset.
to the community.
Okay.
Yes. And then as she was there, she got to tap into the other asset, which is the social asset. Because had she only approached one woman, maybe that person couldn't have managed to hire that piece of land to do a project alone.
Yes.
But then, because we look at all assets, now the social aspect comes in. These people joined hands, joined the resources they had, the financial, the energy to do the work, and then, there they are, they succeeded.
Wow. And so how is CorpsAfrica uniquely placed to support rural women, especially in the areas of agriculture and food security? Brian, you want to take it? Yes.
When volunteers are sent into the communities, they have a period to integrate with the community members.
What period is that? How many months?
2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so as a volunteer is in the community, they get to learn a lot of things from the community members. And as they learn, they as well be interacting and also observing the challenges, the pressing needs that the community has. So it's this very period as well that brings about connection between the volunteer, who is a new person, and the indigenous people in that very community. So as trust is built, you realize that people can now come together, bring together the resources without even fear, because now they know what they are doing and they have a vision, a shared vision. That's so important. So I feel like that one alone gives CorpsAfrica #1 position when it comes to addressing issues related to women or supporting women, especially when we talk about agriculture.
Yeah.
Another issue I can talk about is the safe space that CorpsAfrica volunteers create for people that they do interact with.
Wow.
Let me give an example. As a volunteer during my first period in the community, I had a chance to integrate here in Yantonde. I could wake up, do some house chores at my host home, but then move out to the community. One day as I was out, I found a lady and her children. There were like 4 children. They were digging to plant potato. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I went, I told them, Mommy, I want to join you. Please give me the hoe. She thought I was kidding because, of course, I was putting on gumboots, but then the way I was putting on, she's seeing a branded T-shirt. They are not used to
a little
such
bit
a thing.
different.
Yes. So she was like, no, you are just a visitor. I told her I'm just a local person here. So they gave me eventually the hoe. I started digging. We worked together for that day. She was so surprised. She was very happy. Just before that day closed, everyone that was passing by our host home was like, I was told this person went and dug with Mommy so and so.
Wow.
And during that period, as we were digging, I tried to listen to her. I understood her challenges because it was time for school, but then her kids were there helping her to plow.
Wow.
So that they grow food. So I realized that, also school dues were a challenge as well as requirements, and she was a single parent.
Yeah, so some
Yes.
of your initiatives, you've joined in with rural women to actually do the digging in their gardens.
Yes. And actually, I remember we had now a youth group, and her son, Godfrey, had to join the youth group because he had known that, okay, Mommy is facing such and such, but then she can't overcome it alone. So he came, we worked together in that youth group, and then there we were doing some economic activities.
Wow.
Okay, in addition to what he has said, CorpsAfrica is also uniquely placed to support women, rural women, in a way that it has sector-specific initiatives. We have CorpsAfrica Pink that is about development of women. It puts women at the center.
Yeah.
You look at how you're going to work with the women and develop them. For example, enriching their potential,
Yeah.
boosting them, their confidence, and also looking at what they can do to develop their families. And the volunteer, you have to be aware that once you go in the community, you have to work with women under CorpsAfrica Pink.
Yeah.
So we also have CorpsAfrica Red that is about that is public health. You'll have to ensure that at least some of the grassroots challenges with health are dealt with at the level of the community. Access to medical services, ensure that at least these people can ably access, for example, motivate them to go to hospitals. There are government services there. Make them aware that this service is actually, there is family planning at this health center. Please go there for this. Early marriages, how are you going to sort that? Create awareness, advocacy for that. Discrimination among women, battering women in that is also under public health. So you look at that. Then there's also CorpsAfrica Black. There's CorpsAfrica Black and CorpsAfrica Silver. So CorpsAfrica Black, you will have to look at financial literacy. These women.
I'm going to take you to on that. So is there any way that you've supported, as we conclude, the rural women in agriculture in financial literacy?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Actually, the journey to agriculture is through also financial literacy. First, they had to learn how to budget, how to save and how to budget, and to plan. We can't work when we have no resources.
Yes.
So they had to collect money under a VISLA. We made a savings scheme. They came together in meetings. Each meeting, each individual had to collect to bring 1,000 every week.
Oh.
To ensure that our pockets are what?
They have something at least, yes.
To start with. So we did so many activities. We didn't only do horticulture with watermelon. We did 77 kitchen gardens with these women, where we had nutrition sorted in families and
Yes.
Expenses saved. We did outside. Others might be outside horticulture.
Agriculture,
Yes, but we did a lot with them. So we had to save, and then after saving enough Then we had to what? Invest. Look for
Yes.
the land, pay.
So save, then invest, look for the land, seeds and
Seeds
everything.
and
That is quite
everything.
interesting. So and everything and the things did come from outside the community. They came from the
From
community
within the
members
community
themselves.
members, yes.
Absolutely, this is amazing.
Really.
So it's good that you find that our volunteers in CorpsAfrica, she's not an agriculturalist and you are not,
Yes.
but you are able to work with rural women to support them in agriculture to better their lives, to have better food security, to have better nutrition. And so we celebrate, we appreciate the different initiatives that you conducted. So as we celebrate the International Day of Rural Women, we also applaud the role of CorpsAfrica volunteers in local communities to catalyze local development. Until next time, this is Conversations with CorpsAfrica volunteers.